Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Heart and Hustle Houston. This is season 1, episode 6. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Now let's get into this episode. All right, y'all. So, as I stated in my last video, if you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville and you've seen this review, I watched the shows this morning and then I took a walk before coming back to review. I'm probably gonna say some stuff out of order because I didn't write anything down, but I think my memory's okay as far as I can remember. I enjoyed this episode a lot. No drama, but it's the women. Look, I forgot who the creator is, whoever the producers are. I'm glad that they're making a strong foundation for season 1. As far as who these women are, all these women aren't besties. However, they're finding ways to get to know each other and connect in ways that take several seasons to even start learning on other different shows that are way more popular. And of course, when you get to the more mess later on, or a lot sooner on some of these other shows, you know. Anyways, I'm just enjoying the flow at how things are going right now. If you saw the preview, I guess there's going to be mess in the next few episodes, but I think that that's more production trying to make things to look a certain way, but whatever. Anyways, who can we start with? I think it was Elena and Manera. We didn't see her in the last episode, if I remember correctly. Elena goes to bond with her. There isn't a lot of one-on-one time with her and Elena, so she's glad to have had this time. Manera opens up in regards to how she doesn't really open up to a lot of people. Elena said that she's that way too. We learned on last week at how she learned to suppress things just like her mom. This week we're learning from Manera that she's suppressing things. I think there's a pattern, and we're seeing it out of black women. I think it's for the black race, because we've been told we don't talk about our feelings. But it shows up in other ways because we don't get to talk about it. And a lot of times it shows up in anger and rage and abuse because of stuff that's never been dealt with before. And we've been told to just get over it, and we're strong black people, and that's the way it gotta be. We can be strong and still be vulnerable. You're not weak for crying. You're not weak. So I was just like, I'm not taken aback, but I'm glad that there are voices out there on a more bigger scale to just tell black people to wake up a little bit and to know it's gonna be okay. And it's going to be okay once you open up and actually allow a healing process to begin in you. She talks about how she usually takes in things and tries to be there for everyone else, due to when she moved from India to America with her mom. She ended up seeing her mom really struggle, do the best that she could as far as hustling and making it happen. Over here in the United States. And one time she caught her mom crying and seeing the struggle that was on her. She didn't want to add any more burden to her in that way. So she developed this way of just penting up stuff. Elena did say, you know, I appreciate Manera opening up and seeing her cry. And she was like, I know that that's something more that I need to do. I thought Elena was going to start opening up to her. It's interesting that two closed off people, one was still able to open up to the other closed off person. That could be kind of imbalanced, maybe, but there are 3 forms of relationships. And hold on a second, because I know there's the codependent relationship, independent relationships, and interdependent relationships. Now, I learned it a different way. I just can't remember the ones I learned it by. But some you do just have as someone who is greater in this level, and you get poured into whatever is supposed to be there. There's other codependent relationships, which is probably one of the most unhealthy ones. It can be, because I'm here, you're here, and we just relate right here. And a lot of times it's what I'm in bondage about, you're also in bondage with, and we just trauma bond with each other. And it doesn't grow anywhere. Of course, there's another balanced relationship where you balance each other out. And I'm trying to remember those relationship types. But anyways, hopefully you guys, I didn't turn you guys off, but it just came to me while I was reviewing. So, but yeah, it is interesting that two closed off people and one was able to still open up to a closed off person. That's not really typical and normal. I could say some other things, but I just don't want to. At least in this first season, because it can be just like, what's really going on here? And I might be seeing what I'm seeing, but right now, I just don't want it to sound like I'm coming off mean or something or negative. But it's just like, I'm not saying that Manura was being fake or whatever, but I think that you got to know who to open up to. Elena's only opened up to Labrina. She ain't been opening up to anyone else. Possibly Latoya, but it's not at the same level that she did open up to Labrina. Labrina does have this type of nurturing, safe place aura. Not saying that Elena is that way, but if you're closed off, how are you really going to help someone else? So I did look at that. I thought it was cool that Manura did open up, but was that the right pot to really put your stuff into? All right, so the next scene, we see Elena doing her thing, and she has her client, which is world-renowned Latoya Luckett. Latoya Luckett, we know first from the group Destiny Child. She is an original member, and then we know all the drama that happened with that. Then she went on to that other movie. It wasn't whatever it was. Basically, she wanted to sing outside of the church and da-da-da-da-da. But she's also known for her role as Rochelle on Greenleaf, and now she's on Divorce Sisters. And what I do know is that Elena did do makeup. She was a makeup artist for the cast of Divorce Sisters. And you can go on her Instagram page and you can see all that. But I do believe that she does have a relationship with Latoya and all that good stuff. And Elena opened up to her in regards to things that she's not really seeing from Josh as far as making the relationship work. And she suggested couples counseling. And he said he wanted to go do individual work. Is that working? She said, well, I only know that he went once. That's crazy. So Elena at this point is saying that I'm not seeing much effort being put, even though he put me in that predicament of not being able to trust him. If I want to back all the way up, now that I'm remembering how the episode started, is Elena took the ladies outside of Manura, and I think Labrina was Labrina there? I don't think Labrina was there. I don't think so. Anyways, took them to a stripper pole class. Latoya was like, I don't really do that. I don't really dance like that. I do the Cupid shuffle. And Chloe, she wasn't that good, but ended up being better. I think that Latoya needed to warm up a little bit to actually be accepted to do this class, and she was cool. Ro was very good, and all of that. So you could see who are the most explorative with their bodies and sensuality and all that. But there was a line that Elena said that I was like, should you have said it like that? She said, basically, I've been in my room over there, and I need to really get in touch with my sensuality, because we know that her and Josh aren't having sex. It just seemed like an odd thing to say. Especially at that point, we didn't even know that Josh wasn't still going to counseling or whatever. We didn't know the state of their relationship or whatever. Anyways, I just thought it was like, you really want to put that out there? We knew you guys weren't having sex, so there's nothing going on. I think she said that they hadn't slept together for like 3 months. And I think the indiscretion came like 3 years ago. I think that's what she said. But y'all correct me on that, please, if I'm wrong. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, now to go back to when she was with Latoya Luckett. She said, I think you should bring it back up to Josh, even though he didn't seem like he was really into the couples counseling. See, I thought it was he wanted to do individual counseling and then go into couples counseling. Later on this episode, I'm looking at Josh just totally weird. But we'll get there. But Latoya said, look, if you want the truth, I'm going to give you the truth. And what probably needs to happen, I mean, he's got to do something for you at the same point, because he did betray your trust. Next up, Latoya. She goes to see her therapist, and they talk about current things that are going on with her. They just had the anniversary of her father's going home to glory, and kind of reliving that pain of when he did pass away. And we find out that she was the one to walk in on him into his home and seeing that he was gone. He was just laying there with his eyes open, and they found out that he had a heart attack. And there's a lot of trauma that could happen from that. One, just seeing your father, just knowing that your father I mean, people gotta go. We are born and then we die. Finding your father, but then also not having any time to say goodbye to your father before he passed away. Those could be two different types of pain and trauma that you could be having. And it's hard to let go because you've never really got that closure. And if you think just going to a funeral to pay your respects is a way to have closure, I just, from my experience, no, it's not. Because after you have a repast and the chicken and potato salad is gone, you got to go and miss whomever your loved one is that you really didn't have a chance to say goodbye before they left. She also talked about dating. Labrina setting her up on a blind date. She's like, I'm open into dating. I don't really want an older man and all that good stuff, because Labrina was trying to put me with the salt and pepper type dude, but that's not really my flow. But I'm going to go on this blind date. And that's just that on that. What was the next thing? Chloe. Chloe visits with Ro. Ro got an issue. Ro comes over to Chloe's home. And she said that she has an emergency because her period hasn't came. We're finding, or her menstrual hasn't came. I'll say it that way. We're finding out that Ro has been in a relationship with an NBA player. She's not one of these basketball wives just looking for a lick or anything to that nature. They've just been cool. It's been off and on, and it's not to the point at this point of, okay, let's get married or something like that. But anyway, she could be pregnant, and they take this emergency test or whatever. She got Ubered over a test, and her daughter actually seen it and said, "What's going on?" And she said, "No, this is for a friend." And the daughter said, "Uh-huh." So she came over there to take the test. She wasn't pregnant, and it's good. She said that she's not the type that, things have to change because I have a baby now from him. But we also aren't like a serious couple either. I do want more children, but I wasn't even ready for that because of really the unstableness of this relationship and all that good stuff. She wasn't ready for that, and she's not here to try to trap him or anything like that. That's not what she's on. She's not on. Somehow, I'm not branding all women this way, but there is a certain type of woman that just wants to link up with a basketball star just so she could always hang on to whatever residuals this man got going in. It's her meal ticket to riches. So please, there is a certain one. We see a lot of them on Basketball Wives. Because all we hear about is the girlfriends of, the exes of, I dated this. Yeah, if you watch Basketball Wives. Oh, yeah, so she just wasn't on that type of time. She ends up going to her own therapy session, and she's realizing at how much she was devaluing herself to put other people's feelings first. Even with getting pregnant, she was putting other people's feelings first as far as even what her daughter was thinking. It's just like, well, what about me? In this whole equation. Even though, look, some actions and some decisions that you make do affect other people that are in your life. But it's just been this whole thing of carrying other people and nobody really caring for her. And what I mean carrying, carrying, is what she's been doing and really been left on the back burner. A lot of times, since she's dealing with the NBA star or player, I'll say it that way, she knows that during his season, she can't really emote to him because he's got to stay focused into his game. She's understood that about all of that, and I don't know if she's accepted it, but she's at least gone along with, okay, I'm doing this because he's got to stay focused on his game while I'm sitting here bothered or whatever is going on with me emotionally. I said, wow, that's a lot. But she's learning to put boundaries up. She said, even in my no, I don't want to feel bad because I'm saying no, but there's a way that you need to still feel good about yourself and put yourself at the forefront outside of trying to please other people. I think this was another healthy round of someone getting treatment for the stuff that they have going on. I loved it. Latoya, she goes on her date. It's a blind date, and the gentleman is older. I'm putting this label, it's probably not it, but he's a horse handler. I think he said he got like 6 horses or whatever. Been divorced for about 7 years and kind of put most of his time in the animals that he has. And he has a favorite one that he has developed a relationship with and all that. And Latoya's like, oh, okay. They get into more common things to kind of know about each other as far as what they're looking for in a mate. I think dude is really settled in himself. However, he said that he's been living single since he got his divorce. It looks like it was probably something kind of bad, but and just didn't want to go that route anymore because a lot of men just move on and start, But he says that he wasn't like that. But now he's back just trying to get his feel in the dating world. She said, he said that he isn't really into dating young. He doesn't want to date anyone that is younger than his daughter, which is 31. Latoya says that she is 35. He said, oh, and I am looking forward to getting married and having children, lots of children. And he was like, oh, how many do you want to have? She said 3. To me, I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I don't think that's a lot. Growing up, I wanted between 3 to 5 children. That's growing up. I don't think that that's gonna happen over here. But anyways, I just don't think. From what I wanted, no, 3 to me is a lot. But I guess it could be a lot. That's a lot of mouths to feed. But I still don't understand. How come all these folks in the Bible had multiple children and was able to survive, and then we are in 2025, centuries later, barely surviving with 1 child? I don't get that. But anyways, yeah. So it's kind of a bust in regards to this blind date. I think Labrina should have vetted a little bit more, even though she thought the perfect thing with Latoya was to get a salt and pepper dude. But if the salt and pepper dude is just settled in his ways and don't want a new family, why send him out on a date with someone that you know wants more than that, though? Anyways, we have a talk with Elena and Josh. Elena at this point is wanting to be more assertive about couples counseling. She's saying, well, he thinks that he's putting in effort, and she says, you've done things, yeah, but all I know is that you have gone to one singular therapy by yourself once, and it just doesn't seem like much effort that I need, especially with the betrayal. Of course, people in production is asking her in a confessional, so what is it? And she said, I'm really not open to saying it. I hate to go this route, y'all. All I'm going to say is this, and this is how I'm going to explain how I'm going to back up why I'm saying this. Is something going on with Josh's sexuality. I hate to brand people like that. However, I'm just lost. You're up front and focused. You were able to just tell us, okay, so he cheated during our engagement. He betrayed you. And now you can't even sleep in the same room with him. Yeah, and y'all haven't even had sex in months. What is the betrayal? Either there's a baby, or somehow he got caught up in some type of same-sex something. Because it doesn't seem like, was he stealing from you? That's the only other thing that I could, he either was stealing from you, he had a baby on you, or he's dealing with the same sex in some type of way. And he still was apprehensive, that I didn't really catch beforehand, but he's apprehensive on the couple's counseling, but it looks like he gave in to try to please you. Because she was like, well, I need something to help me because you betrayed me in this whole situation. So it kind of just sounds like he's not even in the mood to do much to save the marriage. Almost like he's checked out. You've checked out too, and somehow y'all just hanging on because of familiarity. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's what I'm getting. And the only thing that's irritating to me is that we keep bringing up this betrayal, but you won't tell us about it. No, it's not our business, but it is our business because you signed up to give us your business, and you can call me nosy, but it's just like I'm trying to be invested, but it's just like there's a disconnect because I'm trying to understand what in the world is going on there. Unfortunately, I know you want to protect him. At the same time, that's why I think it's got something to do with his sexuality, y'all. That's what I think. That's all I got today. Y'all let me know in the comments about everything I talked about. Other things coming up. If you watch Beauty in the Black, I have reviews that are coming out today. I still gotta catch up on Beyond the Gates because it's back and all that good stuff. And give you a review today. But y'all be on the lookout for at least the remaining of this coming up week of reviews of Beauty in the Black and some today. Check out Love and Marriage Huntsville, Zatima. The new season started this past Thursday. Salt Lake City is coming back this Tuesday. I'll be reviewing that, so you'll see that on Wednesday. But anyways, that's all I got, y'all. I appreciate everyone for coming. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Until the next one, peace.